Something different is being built inside the Alabama Crimson Tide. Something that the outside eyes might look like routine, but could very well decide everything that comes next. We stand on the edge of a matchup everyone has been waiting for. The Georgia Bulldogs, Sanford Stadium, September 27, 2025. And in the week leading up to it, a so-called bye week turned into a quiet turning point. Think about it. A week without a game, a pause that normally means rest, recovery, maybe a chance to breathe. But not this time. Not for Alabama. In Tuscaloosa, on the practice fields, in the film rooms, in the locker room, the heartbeat never stopped. Every moment was used to correct, sharpen, align, and focus. Because they know what's waiting in Athens. An opponent that doesn't forgive mistakes, a program that thrives on home field advantage, and a stadium ready to roar. And out of this backdrop came Isaiah Horton, the wide receiver who transferred in from Miami. He arrived to bring exactly what Alabama was missing, a deep threat, someone who can stretch defenses and create space. Even while battling through an early injury that slowed his debut, Horton showed flashes of why the Tide wanted him. A play against Louisiana Monroe, Ty Simpson dropped back, launched a pass downfield, and Horton turned, fought off coverage, and hauled it in at the back of the end zone. It was a glimpse, a moment of explosive potential. During the bye week, Horton spoke openly about his role, and what he said revealed more than just football cliches. He emphasized that Alabama's success depends on collective success. 11 men on the field, no one acting alone. His exact words carried weight. We are successful as the success of others. It's 11 guys out there. It's not a one-man show. And that's where the silent change begins. Not with highlight reels, not with personal stat lines, but with sacrifice. With receivers who are just as committed to blocking as they are to catching touchdowns. Horton put it plainly. We've got to block, we've got to establish the run game. Once we do that, it's go time. To the casual fan, that might sound technical, almost boring. But inside the game, it's everything. When wide receivers commit to blocking, running backs find daylight, defenses wear down, and the offense controls the clock. Control the tempo, and suddenly even the loudest crowd becomes irrelevant. And speaking of the crowd, Horton knows what's coming in Athens. Sanford Stadium will be hostile, deafening, unforgiving. Yet his focus was unshaken. The crowd can't win a game for anybody. It's mandatory to block it out. That's not just a phrase. That's psychological warfare. It's training the mind to stay sharp when 90,000 voices scream against you. It's believing that discipline, not noise, decides who wins. There's more. This will be Horton's very first time facing Georgia. For many, that would mean nerves, but not for him. His teammates and coaches reminded him what this rivalry means. And Horton didn't flinch. He said simply, "This is the game you want to be a part of." A baptism by fire, yes, but he's stepping into it with the composure of someone who understands the moment. And while Horton and the receivers sharpen their silent weapons, Alabama also gets a key piece back. Running back Jameer Miller, the veteran who led the Tide in rushing last season. He missed time with a collarbone injury, but he's expected to return against Georgia. His presence matters not only for production, but for leadership. With Miller back, Alabama's offense becomes more balanced, more physical, more complete. All of this unfolds against a historic backdrop, Alabama and Georgia. A rivalry stretching back decades, one of the great series in college football. Alabama leads the all-time record, but every meeting feels like destiny. And in 2025, this isn't just another game. It's Alabama's first SEC test of the season. The kind of clash that can reshape rankings, shift playoff projections, and swing the narrative of an entire year. Lose here, and doubt seeps in. Win here, and the nation takes notice. That's why this bye week mattered. That's why it wasn't rest, but reinvention. Alabama used the silence to forge something different, A team that thrives not on noise, but on discipline. A team that doesn't care about the spotlight, only about execution. A team preparing not for headlines, but for results. Georgia will step into Sanford Stadium expecting to feed off the crowd, expecting Alabama to crack under pressure. But the Tide is preparing to answer with something stronger. Patience, precision, unity. With every block, every run, every route. With receivers who treat a downfield block like a touchdown catch. With running backs who hid gaps created by selfless teammates. With a quarterback who knows that once the ground game is established, the air attack opens wide. It's not supposed to happen this way. A bye week isn't supposed to be a transformation. A wide receiver isn't supposed to talk about blocking with more passion than catching touchdowns. A team isn't supposed to grow stronger in silence. And yet it is happening, quietly, steadily, relentlessly. So the question is this: will this silent change be enough to walk into Athens, silence 90,000 voices, and take down Georgia? If it is, then everyone will look back and realize the turning point wasn't in the roar of a Saturday night. It was here in the quiet of a week with no game, when Alabama found its edge. Obviously, it feels good to have a little rest time and chill, get your body back right, so that's what I've been focusing on. But when practice comes, that's what you got to be locked in and focused on. So I feel like we had pretty good practice, and we're just going to keep moving on. When asked about what the offensive line has done in the run so far, the response was clear. Feel like we need to be better. I mean, that's everybody. Everybody already knows that. And we've been going against some really great fronts, some really great teams that have focused on stopping us in the run, and we just need to get better. That's point blank, period. The focus on improvement centers on fundamentals. Going through practice, focusing on the fundamentals, physicality, hands inside, tight feet. That's all it is. When it comes to Georgia, the sentiment is straightforward. Georgia is Georgia, and they're always going to be Georgia. It's always a tough competition and a tough challenge, and just got to get ready for them. And I know they're going to do the same.
Having been through a few games with Georgia before, the matchup is described as intense, but not different from any other rivalry game. We're going to prepare the same. It's just how it goes. But I know every time we play them, it's intense. And you've seen last year, you can't keep a team down like that. It's just a really great team. Even on an off week, there's no getting away from football. Players always have to be locked into the film, still focusing on that even though there are no obligations in the building. The energy and momentum from previous games like ULM and Wisconsin continue on the practice field, with focus and intent present despite having 3 or 4 days off. The timing of a bye week doesn't really matter to players. It's a long season. Your body's going to get banged up. That's just how it goes. There's nothing you can do to prevent it. Just come in the training room, try to take care of your body, but everybody's still banged up. With 7 different combinations of offensive line thrown out in the last game across 9 drives, the perspective is about finding the right 5 players with the right physicality. It's not up to individual players. Coaches will put the best combination out there. When discussing true freshman players, the emphasis is on physicality and intensity. He's came out and had that intensity. He's been trying to wreck up shop, even on walkthroughs. He's just got that intensity, and that's just the guy that he is. And that's some of the guys that we need to have on offensive line. Despite Alabama currently being a 4-point underdog versus Georgia, the mindset remains focused. The -4, that's for bettors, man. We're not worried about that. You just got to focus on what we need to do. Obviously, Georgia's a tough opponent, and it's going to be a tough game. We got to get ready for it. Players like Cam Dewberry have been getting recognition for their tenacity, attacking every aspect of football, both on and off the field. This includes late-night hot yoga sessions, 15 minutes of class at 130 degrees just to sweat it out and maintain conditioning. The quarterback's pocket presence has improved, staying composed even when protection breaks down. Ty, he's been doing everything, on and off the field as a leader too, and it's obviously showing up on the field. He's doing his thing. For young players, the biggest lesson is not letting a bad play hinder future plays. If your mind goes to that one bad play and we got 30 more plays to go in a practice or in a game, you can't think about that, or it'll ruin the rest of the game for you. The emphasis on getting the run game going for SEC play focuses on finding the right guys with physicality and intensity to gain rushing yards and get running backs free. Sometimes it's only one guy that loses a block and results in a tackle for loss, so all 5 offensive linemen need to know what they're doing and be in the right lineup. While rotation might be acceptable early in the season, once facing tougher teams, continuity becomes crucial. You need that camaraderie between all 5 linemen for them to function as one unit. The goal is finding and sticking with the right 5 players who can execute at the highest level when it matters most.